Hello, everyone. My name is Sasha Savic. I am CEO of MediaCom in US. And my guest today is Jamie Singleton. Jamie is a Chief Marketing Officer of Signet, which is one of our biggest clients in US. But more than that, Jamie is one of the nicest people and the best partners we have in the United States, and it's a pleasure for me and for all of us to have you here today with us.
Thank you, Sasha. It's a pleasure to be here with you, and totally come right back to you on the great partnership.
Okay, so, let's start with this question. You've been in Signet since 2012, and you went through several different important positions in Signet, but starting sometimes last spring this year, your remit and responsibilities included also marketing for Signet. And as a Chief Marketing Officer of Signet, which is the biggest jewelry company in the United States, first question is what is that surprised you when you took this new responsibilities and new job?
Yeah, I love that question, Sasha. And I have to tell you, there were a couple of things that really, I guess, were big surprises. Signet was in the process of transitioning from a traditional retailer to a digitally driven retailer. One of the first things that I learned is that our customers were so eager and so willing to go on that journey with us. Which was just validation that we were headed down the right path. So some of the things that I had questioned or had concerned about going in, I really learned that we have the infrastructure and the means in place to listen to our customers and learn from them, and they want to shop differently. So that was a very welcome surprise. I guess the other one is just how competitive the talent market is in marketing right now. And there's so much bright, accomplished talent in the marketplace and room for a lot of innovation. So that was another learn as I've worked my way through this.
And with all these changes that are happening in a Signet marketing, do you find more challenging just kind of staying in touch with technology and staying in touch with everything that is happening around us, or is more challenging to kind of change the culture and kind of convince people that change is good?
Yeah, it's funny. I always think that culture is the most difficult. I have to tell you, what I've found with the Signet team and with our MediaCom partners is such a willingness to change and to evolve. And the ability to take a vision, and you and I, Sasha, have had many conversations about vision around personalization and the future and the path. I've found the team to be very, very willing to get there. The technology is a lot to keep up with, and building the capabilities fast enough and solid enough to keep up with the movement around us is a challenge. It's something that I think we'll continue to work building infrastructure in our company to be able to maximize and get quicker with. But marketing innovation is a very different situation today than it was even a year and a half ago at the beginning of the pandemic.
Well, talking about beginning of pandemic, I mean, as I said, you kind of went into your new responsibilities in March this year, and in March this year, everything was still very much uncertain. We didn't know when and how we're going to get vaccinated, when and how we're going to go back to our businesses, our lives, our jobs. However, I mean, when I think about Signet, and specifically about you, I mean, one thing about you is that for a long time you've been one of the biggest names in a bridal business in the United States.
Right.
And bridal business in the United States is a billions and billions of dollars. Is kind of ginormous. And if I think about this, Corona, it wasn't easy to get married. It wasn't easy to organize wedding and to do all these things. But at the same time, Signet went on stock market from $6.19 in April last year to, I believe, $90.21 today. If my math is correct, that's a growth of 1,500%. What happened?
Well, I'll tell you, we had, for 3 years prior to Corona, we had been on what we call our Path to Brilliance. The Path to Brilliance for Signet was doing several things. Number one, it was envisioning every banner that we have differently and going through the work, which you went through a lot of this with us, Sasha, to differentiate and distinguish each of these banners. So Kay from Zales and Jared from Piercing Pagoda, and our People's banner, our UK banners, to ensure that we really were laser focused on the customer segments that were shopping at those banners. So we had done that work prior to the pandemic. We had also begun building capabilities and infrastructure around things like flexible fulfillment, like digital marketing, like an omni-channel approach that was very unique in jewelry. So from that perspective, we were positioned at the beginning of the pandemic where we could quickly throttle on some of these levers for capabilities that we were already building. And you add to it that we have, I think, a most incredible and special supply chain to help us get product to customers faster. But one decision that we made early on, in the days when we were closing stores and closing offices, we decided to be aggressive. And we bet on love. Just being in the business that we're in, we know that when things are tough, people tighten their circle and tighten their relationships. And while they may have been meeting people and dating differently, a lot of it was online, a lot of it was quarantining involved together, but it really seemed to further people's relationships and further them faster. We saw our customers go from a wide circle of casual acquaintances to a very tight circle of people that they love. And we saw signs early on through consumer insights. We saw what we termed Zoom-worthy jewelry. So we saw things like earrings and high cut necklaces really kicking in. And we saw engagement rings change. We've talked about this a lot, but as engagements themselves became less of a party or an event, couples began to put more into the ring. And they started talking about that to us. Here's what we want. And we were able, through our consumer insights, to listen to our customers early and pivot and respond. And I think that helped more than anything. They told us what they wanted. We were able to listen and get it done. And then the way that we started to go to market early was very real and very UGC-like. Love is Unstoppable is a campaign that we came out with just a few weeks into COVID. And that was inspired by the fact that customers were calling us because they wanted their engagement rings. And our store teams were doing remarkable things, as were our vendors, to get these customers their rings. And we said, the world can crumble around us, but love is really unstoppable. We played in, we went after it. We played along with our customers. I'm going to say played along, but I went along with our customers on that because that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to express love. And it became more intense as we went through the coronavirus process. We also saw so many couples early on had to shelter in place together. That advanced relationships. And we saw the sentiment really deepen as we went through the pandemic. And we continued to build out capabilities to support what we were seeing.
So I hope that all these young and single people working for MediaCom around the world who are listening this and watching us on this video, they kind of getting right conclusions from what you just said.
That's right.
Anyway, you just described tremendous amount of transformation, quick transformation that was happening during the last 18 months because Corona, but also because of changes that technology brought to our lives. As a marketer, what is more important, to kind of focus on transformation and be devoted to constant stage of transformation, or being very precise in developing quarterly numbers and daily grind?
Yeah, it's that's always the back and forth. I think that what we're seeing right now is that we've been able to put a vision forward and really drive toward that vision. And while we pay attention every day, we focus every day, we are really, really driving hard toward playing to our future and to our strategy. We're very confident in our strategy. That helps. But we're trying to make decisions and take steps every day that take us forward and take us to the future. I think that we're sitting at a point in retail and a place in time. We're about to change guards again. The Gen Z customers are coming into the purchasing equation, and so yet another generation that thinks differently. I think that all of us in the consumer goods categories have to really be focused on the future. Really be focused on the future and make sure that we have strategies and vision in place that our teams understand and have voice in, and give them the room and the swim lane so that they can drive toward that vision.
So basically, role of agencies and your partners is becoming more and more to drive you and advise you about the future versus just daily execution of daily tasks.
I think the partnerships are just tighter because we're having to build future capabilities together.
Yeah. Now, talking about future, like every time when you see some interview with the business leaders, there's this question like, what is your industry going to look like in a post-COVID world? And I have to tell you, like every time I hear that question, I'm asking myself, is there going to be post-COVID world, or this world is becoming our world? So how do you see near and midterm future for marketing and Signet?
I think you're right that the post-COVID world will not be back to what the pre-COVID world was at all. Some of the things that we're learning about our customers and the way that we're standing up our marketing is our customers want to interact with us online, but they still highly, highly value that store experience. So some of the things that we're focusing on is making sure that the experience that we're delivering in the stores and the marketing and creative that we're putting in front of our customers syncs up, right? That we're carrying the promise all the way through. That's a big task when you have as many stores as we have, but I think that's a big piece of it. And giving our customers inspiration every day that's different across multiple channels. One of the things that we've worked on quite feverishly is, making our campaigns sync up across all of our social media channels and be appropriate for all of our social media channels. That's a journey. Optimizing our creative is a journey. And that's something that we've made nice progress with. We still have a ways to go.
You mentioned different brands that Signet have, Kay, Zales, Jared, and few others, and there will be more in the future. Challenge always is, how do you kind of act as one, but also have very distinct flavor, look, beliefs, expression to outside world? How do you corral all these people who wants to be number one in your organization?
Yeah, I spend a tremendous amount of time in this chief marketing officer's role, thinking about how we optimize our scale, how we leverage Signet's scale, and how we build things that are commonly helpful to all of our businesses, and do it in a way that gives them the opportunity to easily differentiate their creative, differentiate the way that they go to market, differentiate the way that they, the way that they talk to their customer or express themselves, in the stores or in our marketing campaigns. And what we're finding is that technology matters in all of that more than ever. Giving our marketers ways to move quickly and pivot quickly is giving them, it's enabling them to bring differentiation to life. And I think that will continue as we go forward, giving them more ways to get product to the customers faster and tell our customers about it. I think is tremendous. And the way that the Jared customer listens to something like that versus what matters to a Zales customer or a Kay customer or a Pagoda customer, it's a very different mindset. So I think that the technological advances and staying quick and nimble and innovative is going to be really important in the future. And giving our people a chance to explore and not get it right every single time.
Good. That's also important for agencies to know. The last question, as I said, last 18 months was different, interesting, successful, game-changing. All these things can be put in front of Signet brand. What about next 18 months? With everything that is in front of us, with great optimism that we will go through this unharmed and healthy. What makes you giddy when you think about next 18 months of marketing, and what is like one thing you wanna focus on and deliver?
Yeah, that I love that conversation. We're very confident in our Inspiring Brilliance strategy, and we're going to continue to drive hard on that strategy. The piece of it that I'm the most excited and that truly makes me giddy, we are getting so much more focused every single day on data, analytics, and the voice of our customer. And I really believe that that's the path forward. Part of hearing the voice of our customer, by the way, is hearing the voice of our associates and the people in our company who interact with them. So as we build those capabilities out and become much more data-driven, I mean, every day is just a new experience in how we stack our data and how we use it. In many ways, you can be a mile wide and an inch deep in data. Have so much data and use a fraction of it. We're really, really focused on bringing that to life. I think that's exciting. I think that listening to our customers, that's the key and that's the path.
Well, listen, we as excited as you are to go to this journey together. And when I think about you and your job, I have to say that I'm a little bit jealous. Because we have many beautiful, successful, profound clients in their brands, but none of them have a purpose to facilitate and help people to love better.
It is such a gift. We're in the business of celebrating life and expressing love. And, the pandemic has shown us love really is unstoppable. What a great business to be in.
And you're doing a great job, Jamie. Thank you very much for being our guest today and being such a great client of MediaCom here and elsewhere. Thank you.
Thank you, Sasha. Thank you for everything that you do to make us successful. All of MediaCom.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.